안녕하세요. 나줌마쌤입니다. 이번 영상은 미국 중고등학교의 시험 2의 재개에 관한 영상입니다. 미국 문화 자체가 샐러드 볼처럼 다양성을 가지고 있기에 원어민 친구들의 대답은 참고로만 알아두시길 바래요. Please.
Hi, my name's Sophia, and I'm 14 years old.
Hello, I am Fiona.
I'm Kylie. I'm a senior in high school.
It depends on the teacher. I had a teacher who taught really fast, and I was falling behind. So my grade that year wasn't great. It was like a average grade, like a B. I mean, every kid complains about a test. I don't know a kid that's like, "Oh yeah, your test."
No.
At least in my life, there's not normally complaining to teachers or anything about unfair questions. You didn't teach this to my child. You went too fast. It happened like a few times, but it's not like where it happens frequently. The teachers in my middle school were amazing. I loved all my teachers.
Good. So it is not common to complain about test questions and grades to teachers officially. Your mom calls a teacher and then, oh, this question in the test is wrong or something like that.
No, at least in my family, how it worked was that if there was a complaint, that I needed to go up and build my self-confidence to tell the teacher. So it might be the same for other kids, or it might just be that the parents will just complain for you. I mean, at certain things, yes, my parents did get involved. But in other points, my parents were just like, go up to the teacher, ask her if you can retake the quiz or retake the test or just do whatever to help your grade get back up.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you.
The questions are handwritten by most teachers.
Oh, really?
Not many students really complain because they would try not to be outside the range of what we learned. Like if we learned about genetics, there would be some questions about genetics and some questions of other stuff that we learned in that lesson. And the only time a student would complain was if a question was too hard because they missed a class.
Can they complain about it to teachers directly?
If they would complain to anybody about a test being too hard or something like that, they would probably tell their parents, and their parents would probably just ignore it.
Got it. So not to teachers.
Not really to teachers, because not many of us have the time to talk to teachers about test questions.
I see.
They would just talk to friends mostly.
And that's it.
Yes.
I see.
Yes, like all the time. You always hear all the students complain.
Directly, I want more points. Something like that. Is it possible?
It's usually more dramatic. Like, I don't know, like every single test we have, you hear students saying, oh, I think I failed it. Like, we didn't even learn anything that was on the test. Even though, like, even top students who usually get good grades, they all say this. Like, I've said it before, like, oh, I failed. But you usually don't say it right to the teacher unless you really think the test wasn't right and something should be changed. But yeah, a lot of the students complain. I think it's just a habit, like being negative.
Yeah. Students complain about it. I failed, terrible, like that. But they don't complain about it to teachers directly.
No, usually they don't, unless they really think there was a wrong question or they think the teacher made a mistake. Then you'll go and tell your teacher. But yeah, it's normal just among the students to just complain and be like, oh, I failed, like we didn't even learn that, stuff like that.
So you told me about it. If teachers really made some mistakes, students could talk about it to teachers directly, right?
Yeah, and usually when it happens, the teachers are forgiving and they'll just give you a better grade because I think they don't really want to worry about it. So they'll be like, oh, okay, that was my mistake, and like fix it. But also, I think whenever the students are all complaining, like, oh, I failed the test, the teacher's listening, and then they're like, oh, you're being dramatic, like, I don't know. So it's not directly to the teacher, but the teacher can still hear everybody complaining, so they get annoyed sometimes. But yeah, it's just a habit that everybody complains about tests.
Yeah, we can complain. The reason why I ask about it is because in Korea, having a good grade is very important to enter good university, and it is very competitive. Have you ever heard about it?
Yeah, I have. And I feel like at my school, it's not as competitive. There's a group of students, like in my friend group, we're really competitive and we're all trying to get the best grades and take the hardest classes so we can get into good universities. But a lot of my school doesn't care as much and they're just kind of doing their own thing and like they're trying their hardest, I think, but they're not really worried about getting the top grade. So I think there's like two groups of people, like people who really, really care and then people who don't care as much.
Can you tell me about the percentage? What percent really, really care about the grade?
I think in my grade, it's about 20%, maybe 20-30% who cares, and then about 70% who are kind of like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Got
Yeah.
it.
And something that my school does a lot, I'm not sure if Korean schools do this, but like for math class last year, every single test, everybody in the class would fail because my teacher gave us really, really hard tests.
I see.
And so you could retake it like as many times as you wanted to. So I don't know, in Korean schools, can you retake a test like a bunch of times? Or is it just one test and that's it?
Depends. But in Korea, there are midterm tests and final tests per semester. It is very big test for teachers and students. So in that case, they cannot take the test again.
Oh,
One
okay.
time, and that's it. Students feel very stressed, and teachers also feel very stressed.
Yeah, even like the SAT, that's like the big test you take to like get into college and you show the college like your score. And that you can take as many times. Like you have to pay some money, but you can take it a bunch of times. So I think that's nice that you can like get a better score.
Yeah, I like it too. Not one time, but many times. Give more chances to students, right?
Yeah.
One time is not good. I don't think so. Then how about parents? For example, Kylie's grade was not that good. When Kylie's mom read your questions, this question is a little bit wrong. Kylie can get more points. In that case, will your mom call teacher or does it happen here?
Yeah, it does. My mom does this a lot. She'll like email my teacher. It happened a lot with like math class last year because my teacher gave really hard tests and so like everybody failed and I tried to explain that, but then she's like, you shouldn't be failing, like you're a straight A student. And so she would email them. So if it's like a really, really bad test score that's like out of the ordinary and you're like, my child shouldn't have gotten that, like I know they're smarter, then they'll be like concerned and email or call or something like that. But I think it's not a normal thing. I think it's only if it's a really, really bad grade and then they're like, oh no, I need to talk to the teacher.
So in that case, did the teacher fix your grade just a little bit up or change your grade?
No, not really. I still had like the bad test grade, but then my overall grade was still an A. So I think he didn't count it for as many points because he realized nobody passed his test. So
I see.
It didn't really matter.
Got it. Did you take the test again?
Yeah, I would retake the test if I got a bad score. Like I wanted to get a better score. So I would come in at like lunchtime or after school and retake it. And that would usually make my grade better.
Got it. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
오늘도 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 영상이 조금이나마 도움이 되었다면 좋아요와 구독 부탁드릴게요. 항상 건강하시고 행복하세요. 바이.